In this video, I will show you how to get your own website set up for free on GitHub pages. First, you will need to have a GitHub account, so you can go to github.com and either sign up or log in if you already have an account. And you will also need to download and install GitHub Desktop. Now, what we are going to do first is open up GitHub Desktop, and it will ask you to sign in. You can click on File and go down to Options and click the Sign In button here. And once you are signed in, you should see your username appear. First, what we are going to do is go to create a new repository on your hard drive, and we will click here. Now we have to give the repository a very specific name. It is going to start off with your username. So in this case, my username is Coding Industries, but you will need to type in your actual username here. And then I will type .github.io. You have to match that piece exactly, .github.io. Then you want to select a local path for where you are going to store the files for your website. So in this case, I went to Documents and I made a folder called Sites. And then you can ignore the rest and skip down to Create Repository. And you can click that button and it will create the repository for you. Now, if you already have the files you need for your website, you can simply drag and drop them into that folder where you're going to store it. In this case, I'm going to my sites folder and I will see that another folder was created for my repository, codingindustries.github.io. Again, this folder will start with your username that you typed. You can open up that folder. And in this case, we need an index.html file. So I'm going to create one here. So I'm going to right click and I will go new, and I will click on text document, but I'm going to actually delete the whole file name, including the .txt. And I'm simply going to type index.html. And I will click yes here because I want the file extension to be HTML, which now it is. And then I'm going to right click on this file and open it up. You can use whatever editor you like. In this case, I'll open up WordPad. You might want to use Visual Studio Code instead. And here we are going to write a very simple HTML file that simply says hello world. And these are HTML tags, the text you see in angle brackets. That's how you can format your code in the HTML language. For now, we're going to keep it simple and just write hello world. And now we need to make sure that in the top left, we save this file and then we can close it. And now notice that we have this file inside of the repository folder. We can click back into GitHub Desktop and we will see that index.html is listed here as one of the files in this project. So now I am going to focus on the bottom left here. I need to write a title for my commit comment, so I can write create index.html. And for the description here, we can write something simple like setting up my website. And I'm going to click commit to main. So that will commit these changes. And then you will notice a button appears that says publish repository. I will click this button and the name here is going to look like this, where you have your username and then .github.io. And an important step here, if you are using a GitHub free account, which let's assume you are, you will uncheck the button that says keep this code private. Then you can click publish repository, and this is going to push the changes to github.com. Now, give it about a minute or so, and then you should be able to open up your website in a web browser. Now, in a web browser, you can type your username followed by .github.io to see your GitHub page. However, it will take about a minute or so before the page will actually be visible because we just published it. Please note that as you make changes to your code and publish them to GitHub, it can take up to 20 minutes before those changes appear. So that's something to keep in mind if you are editing your website and need the changes to be visible. If you're sharing the link with other people, keep that 20-minute window in mind. I'm going to click refresh here again, and we'll see if this is up to date. So now I have my website created, hello world,